Welcome back to Louisiana. I am Samuel, and today I had a little bit of a problem. So, I got my Amazon box. I need to open it up, so I pulled out my knife, and I just couldn't open the box. I mean, my knife was getting dull or something, and I just couldn't open the box. So what I realized I needed to do is I need to sharpen my knife blade. Now, usually, I let Grandpappy sharpen my knife blade. He's pretty good at sharpening knives. He always seems to know what he's doing. So I just let him sharpen my knife. But today, I decided that I need to figure out how to sharpen my own knife so, I can just sharpen up my blades whenever I need to. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to look up a YouTube video to see if I can actually learn how to sharpen a knife and see if I can do it without just absolutely destroying the knife. So hopefully everything works and I can figure out how to sharpen a knife, but I'm an absolute noob at this. So comment down below any knife sharpening tips you have and watch me suffer through trying to figure out how to sharpen a knife blade. So let's get started. Yeehaw! This right here is the knife I'm going to be sharpening. It's a really basic, pretty cheap knife that I'm not afraid to beat up, honestly, because I already have beat it up. But we're going to see how long it takes me to sharpen this knife. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on my whetstone, I'm going to find a YouTube video, and just start grinding on this edge a little bit on the whetstone and see how long it takes me to get this knife to where it will cut paper a whole lot better than it currently will. Now, I am no professional knife sharpener at all. I have kind of stroked a blade on a whetstone before and seen it get sharper, but I don't know what I'm doing. So the goal of today is to figure out what I'm actually doing and see how good we can do it, because I really have no experience. Since this knife has a Tanto blade, I'm going to have two edges I actually need to sharpen instead of just one long edge that kind of curves around. So hopefully that should be a little easier because I'm not having to curve the knife, but it is going to mean twice the work. So I'm going to need to dedicate a little time to this to make sure I get a good edge on this knife. But hopefully I can do it successfully and have a pretty nice edge put on this knife by the time we're done, as long as I don't totally destroy it. Let's get started. So I look up on YouTube how to sharpen your knife, and there's just an absolute plethora of videos, and they all think they have the secret tips that you need to actually sharpen your knife. Now, the main gist I've been getting from all of them is that you just need to get your whetstone, and then you just hold your angle on your knife, and you just, sharpen your edge on this little rock. So that's what we're going to try to do. I'm not sure if I can actually do it, but I think I can. It looks fairly easy, right? I mean, how much is there to it? You just take the knife and slide it down a little stone, and boom, your knife gets sharper. So that's what we're going to try to do, and we're going to hope that it is just as easy and magical as I just said it is. This whetstone right here, and what this is actually a pretty hard grit whetstone. So this is what we're going to start on, and then after we sharpen on this stone a little bit, we're going to move over to this smoother whetstone. It's not as hard of a abrasive. So I think one of the important things we have to do is actually make sure I maintain the same angle the entire time, so not change my angle while I sharpen. And if I can do that, I think I can actually just sharpen this fairly easily. And like I said, we're going to sharpen this edge and then this edge separately. So it's going to be twice as much sharpening as on a normal knife blade. But it should be fairly simple. So let's get started and give this a try and just see how hard this is going to be. So right here is a sheet of paper, and I'm going to get an initial comparison of how this knife will currently cut a sheet of paper. And it ripped it a little bit, and the edge isn't really that perfect. So what we're going to do is we're going to run in, and we're going to sharpen this with the skills that I've learned or seen, and see if I can actually get this thing to cut paper a little bit better, and then we'll come back and do this test again. So let's get sharpening. I just sat down to start sharpening, and I realized two things. Number one, I need to actually get my stone wet, because it's called a whetstone. I mean, wetting actually comes from sharpening the knife, but it doesn't need to be wet. And number two, I'm not as great at holding the knife the exact same angle as I could be. So that's something I need to practice on a little bit. What I don't have is a strop. So we're just going to have to sharpen this on that fine stone and then be done. And we're going to check it after that. But we're going to go through this and see how much sharp the knife gets, because hopefully I don't make it duller. I'm just hoping I don't do that. But as long as this knife still cuts after we're done, I'm going to call that a success. So sharpening went decently well on that first stone. I'm about to switch over to the little finer stone. As I kept going, I realized that I was doing a lot better at holding the knife at a same angle, and swapping between the main blade and the point of the blade got fairly easy to where I could just do it and still maintain my same angle of the blade. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not like a vice, but I am holding it a little bit better than when I first started. So hopefully this should go fairly well. And now all I have to do is just swap over to that finer stone, and then we'll be done. Let's check it out. Here, before we switch to a little finer stone, I'm just gonna give a little test cut here. And you see this, it's a good bit smoother than it was previously. Now we're gonna start using this really fine stone and just see how much more refined we can get this cut. So here we go. And we're back. So I spent 17 minutes sharpening this knife blade, and whether that was for good or for worse, we're about to find out. So I did that midpoint cut right before I swapped to the fine stone, and I did notice it was getting sharper, so I'm assuming it's gonna be even sharper than it was then, unless I just drastically messed something up, which I don't think I did. So this is our cut then, and we're just gonna make another cut and see how it does. Oh, it's much, much smoother. I can actually tell. This knife is cutting way smoother than it was at that midpoint, and way smoother before when we started. And I can look and see there's way more just burrs and ripping around the paper from our first cut to now. So this is not razor sharp, but I did definitely sharpen the knife, and that is actually pretty good. So it is in fact not that hard to sharpen a knife. You just have to kind of hold your same angle and realize what you're doing of just kind of removing a little fine bit of metal to make that edge pretty sharper. So that's a new skill unlocked, knife sharpening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe to my channel, share this video with your grandmother because you know she loves sharpening knives, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.